Hello again, I'm Lenny Pinna, and I'm continuing to read the story of Ted Burr from the book A Face from Uranus, a correspondence between Ted Burr and Henry Bellarmine, 1943 to 1945. We are still in Dayton, Ohio, on the Army Air Force's base. Finally, I completed my book, and those who read it offered me various degrees of enthusiasm. It was different. They often asked me if I had read King's Row. I had not. Always something arose that prohibited me from reading it. But I had seen the movie as often as I was able to. There came to the room where I stayed a young man assigned to the field for a week's specialized training. He shared my bed, and his second night there, he made a kind of love to me. I knew I had reached my peak in being attractive and was flattered by his attentions. Reluctantly, the next day I went home to Bellevue for several days' leave. I rushed back, and this man renewed his interest in me. That night, he caressed me to him and told me how desirable and beautiful I was. If you were only a woman, he repeated again and again, if you were only a woman. He kissed my neck and held me close. With his head in my arms, I wanted eternity to descend on that moment. It was all I had ever wanted. Then he begged me to satisfy him. I drew away from him. This was a reminder of my shortcomings, my inability. I was not a woman. Furthermore, I would have no man hold such an act over my head. Strangely enough, it was not difficult to repulse him. He became angry, and I learned he had done this kind of thing before. What a fool I had been. The next night he went out and had a woman who was one of his instructors. As he stumbled into the room and wearily went to bed, thank God he didn't have to sleep with me that morning, he laughed about his late act. I had dried tears, and what a fool I had been in my heart. That morning he left. I was not sorry I had had no sexual relationship with this man, for it proved to me that when the Major and other men accused me in their minds, I knew they were wrong. I had fought something and felt clean and good. Whatever weakness I had the courage to keep it in myself and remain respectable. On July 17 at 10 in the morning, I was coldly informed by the personnel unit chief that the Major immediately demanded my resignation or he would discharge me. It was not my work. Truly, I would be hard to be replaced. The Major was embarrassed by my presence in the office. I was the talk of the entire field. Officers were inquiring about me. Soldiers were being conspicuous over me. I was no longer desirable at that post. The man's closing words were, "For God's sakes, either be a woman or be a man." From somewhere I blindly gathered strength and resigned that day, packed and left. A chapter in my life had come to a bitter close. Story to be continued.